Hey, Drive-By Movies, welcome to Sequel. My name's Blaise.
And I'm James.
This week, we're talking a Halloween classic. It is the month of October.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
And what better movie to talk? I know everyone says, all the nostalgia from the 90s. Oh, Halloween Town. Go rewatch that piece of shit. It's horrible. It is absolutely atrocious. Literally, you could see it like on a soundstage. There's not enough extras.
Really?
There's literally, it's one of those movies where it like suffers from not having enough extras. There's like 5 extras they reuse through every scene. Mm-hmm. What is the most important kids October movie, would you say?
Definitely a Halloween, right?
Okay, you had a fucked up childhood, but quite possibly. But I would have to say Hocus Pocus. It's the most important like kids Halloween movie. But for some reason, I feel like it's been phased out or kind of been forgotten about.
I agree. It's a movie that everyone talks about and remembers, but nobody really rewatches it every year that I know of, at least. Yeah, or even does any like video essays. Where the video essays out on Hocus Pocus and how good it is.
They might be out there. Yeah. They might be out there somewhere. I think like when it comes to and I know we had a movie recently this year that was like a kids Halloween movie that Eli Roth directed.
Right. Yeah.
And I've heard good things, like people talking good things about it. It would make me kind of interested. I think that there's something special about Halloween because it is such a children's holiday, and like, but people have also it's got like 2 legs. Like you could have like children's Halloween stuff, but then there's a lot of like adult like horror movies and whatnot. Flourish at that time, and I enjoy those definitely. But there's a little piece of me at heart that like still wants those kinds of kids movies to be successful, and I think Hocus Pocus 2 could be that movie.
Yeah. And
we'll just get right into it. The Sanderson sisters are back. Winifred, Sarah, and Mary, they're back because in the original movie, what's kind of interesting is it ends with a cliffhanger. You see the book kind of close, but then the eye open, like, okay, the book's still alive. Is the curse that brings the Sanderson sisters back still in order? Were Winifred's final words, part of this curse that still continues? And yes, 25 years later, it's the 25th anniversary of this film. So just bring it back now would be the perfect time. 25 years later, the curse still continues. You saw in the first movie that, their curse and their resurrection still happens. Like that was a cool twist in the movie. It was them like the kids think that they're defeated, but then they come back, a little bit later into the movie. They have to defeat them again. But just having them come back into, modern day with this fish out of water story, which was fun in the first one, like having them like, okay, no one knows. Like they play that fun Halloween gimmick that you see in the Michael Myers films. Like he's walking around amongst trick-or-treaters and no one even thinks anything of it.
Right.
So you have that with them. They're these witches walking around.
Are you broads a little old to be trick-or-treating?
No one thinks that like, oh, there might actually be witches here in Salem. But they're walking around amongst trick-or-treaters, so you could still have that fun gimmick. But I think I would like to bring in like the technology from today of like, oh, kids don't even care about them. Like even though they might look like witches or anything, kids are just on their phones like looking for the best. Like they're Google Mapsing like with the best candy and stuff on their phone. Like this house has 5 stars on Yelp. They always give out the biggest candy bars.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like kids got to be into something like that nowadays. Like back when you're a kid, like you'd look for, all right, you tell your friends, all right, they don't have fun size over there. They got king size.
Yeah. Or look for the houses that has cash and stuff.
Like, all right, dude, they'll give you 5 pennies over there if you put on a couple different costumes. You can make a quick buck. I would always get pissed at people that give out pennies. I'm not gonna lie. Or apples, toothbrush. Really? You can be that disrespectful?
Toothbrush is weird. I've gotten that, and pencils also.
Toothpaste, this is fine. It's sweet enough. I'll just eat this.
I think also there's some cool, like going with the fish out of water like segment. Like there's some cool jokes that you can have with them, like being freaked out by all the new technologies. Like, because I don't remember. I mean, there might have been. It's been a while since I've seen Hocus Pocus, but they weren't. I don't think they were like tripped out by like cars or any of the technology at the time. Maybe there were a few scenes like that.
And there might have been. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But
with how much has
There should
changed
be.
though recently with like
Teslas.
phones and Teslas.
You know,
Sure,
like
yeah.
wow. You
Yeah.
know, like they're like wow. It's almost like witchcraft still exists. Like you know, like they think that like behind all the cell phones is like a sorcerer or a witch that is controlling everyone and manipulating everyone, but really it's just like that's just technology and people's addiction to it. It's actually very like political, like
A kid on a hoverboard and just like, where's your broomstick? Yeah.
on a bird or something. So it could be you could play with that. It would be really funny. But I think also having the technology is like taking over people's lives. It's very easy for them to take the souls of like certain kids that are they're out of it. Like they're just looking at their iPhone, they're playing Pokemon Go something. And like these witches can just take their souls and that's what gives them this everlasting life to hopefully continue on further now that they've been resurrected.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd want to definitely bring back some characters from the original movie. Billy, I think that was the cat's name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or some Bixby or something. Bixie. Like
Billy sounds right. Yeah.
He kind of went off into the afterlife. He was finally released from his curse at the end of the film. But we got to bring somebody back. So should we bring back the main trio of characters? I think maybe bring them back, but we got to bring back Thora Birch. It's been a while since we've seen her on the screen and seeing her reprise that role. Maybe she has kids now and she's going to have to get the band back together. Like she's going to be the leader that gets the band back together to fight these witches once she finds out they're finally back and haunting Salem.
Yeah. 100% on board with that. Thora Birch. If you haven't seen her in Ghost World, highly recommend.
I can't help but feel I had some small part in how you turned out.
So I definitely want to bring back that magic that was in the first one. It's like it's a movie about witchcraft, but it was also I felt like very magical.
Yeah.
And for the vision, I it takes place in modern day, but I still want it to feel magical essentially. And I think somebody that could bring that vision and bring that kind of look that we're looking for is somebody like Zach Helm. And if his name doesn't ring a bell, he did a movie called all right. So he did a movie called Mr. McGorham's Wonder Emporium. I think that's one of the only movies he's really directed, but I'm assuming that movie probably flopped. Like it looks like he's still working today, but I'm assuming just like the movie didn't get the success that maybe the studios wanted from it. And it was a kid's movie. It was like very magical, but it was about Dustin Hoffman playing this character who's like a special toy maker. It's kind of like Willy Wonka in a way, where he's like this magic toy maker, and all his toys like have magic and like come to life and whatnot. And like he's just like a special. It was very Willy Wonka inspired, and I feel like he could bring that magic to this movie, but also like it would have a great sense of like putting the magic back in Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's not Halloween the franchise,
Right. Yeah.
but like Halloween, just that. Like it's a special night for kids. It's like very similar to Christmas. Like it has that spirit that I think this movie, the original, capitalized on. I think this Hocus Pocus 2 could capitalize on as well.
The only thing I'd really want to see more is I remember their zombie slave in the movie. I liked that character. I'd like to see more, like a bundle of zombies again, I guess. Like I guess go bigger with the sequel. Just like I always thought that character was funny as a kid. And funny also, it was played by none other than Doug Jones, the fish man from Shape of Water. And love to see him back as a new kind of zombie or something.
He's definitely had a ton of life experience after that role. So now bringing him back, you can't really reprise this character. I think it'd be more interesting to be like a new character. Maybe, some magic that they set off accidentally brings back a lot of these like townspeople that are in the graveyard cemetery there, and he could be one of them.
Exactly. That's what I was hoping I would be able to see. And if you can fit that in your plot, then I'm all game. And
it's in there already.
Cool. It's in there. Nice.
I just added it right now.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. We'll bring back, all those angry villagers at the beginning of the first movie who are burning them at the stake.
Right. Yeah.
Just bring back those cheery guys.
I want to see
kind of
also
scared of that moment.
I do want to see those two bullies come back also. I like kind of just they haven't been up to much in life still. They're still hanging out in cemeteries and being assholes. The guy who like and stuff. You remember those two guys?
Yeah, they remind me of like the bullies from Skull and Ed from Power Rangers.
Oh really?
I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember.
Just like they reminded me of those guys.
Yeah.
But definitely. I think that this could be, something that a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. Like I'm down to check out the next one. And we would be like faithful to the original. So I think this could be the next step for Hocus Pocus. So anyways, guys, that's it for sequel this week. Tune in next week. We got another spooky movie for you planned. See you guys then.